So, R. Kelly has been hit with 11 more felony charges of sexual assault and sexual abuse today. And, of course, as usual, much of the black sector of YouTube has been very silent about this. Not surprising to me, okay, and I'll tell you why. Because most black people on social media only care about black women and black girls when a pro-black spin can be added to the story. So, for example, when you think about the fact that you hear a lot of pro-black people talk about Sandra Bland and Mitrice Richardson. Sandra Bland, who was a victim of police brutality, and Mitrice Richardson, who was a victim of police neglect, okay? So, I feel that for a lot of pro-black people, those are two women that they feel safe and comfortable talking about because you can share their stories and share what happened to them and do it in a way where you're fitting it into, certain systemic issues and police brutality, right? But when it comes to the things that affect the overwhelming number of black women who are killed or who are victims of domestic violence or sexual abuse, a lot of pro-black people don't want to talk about it because doing so would then require holding black men accountable. So, for example, with R. Kelly, people really only talked about this story when, it first came out to try to blame the underage victims, which was appalling to me. Then they started talking about how there were all these situations where you had other races of men who were accused of sexual assault and sexual molestation, and those men got a slap on the wrist. And so their logic was, well, then R. Kelly should get the same treatment. And I'm like, well, so are you saying that black men who are sexual predators should be released back into the communities to be around your children or to be around your nieces, your nephews, your cousins? Are you serious? No, that's not the response. The response to me should be to fix the system so that all victims get justice. We should not be sacrificing the safety of black children, to prove some overall point about, sentencing disparities. If you want that type of stuff resolved, that's where it's important to lobby your politicians and where it's important to vote at all levels so that you have people in office representing you who can fix the system so that all victims get justice. Okay, because we don't want any sexual predators getting a slap on the wrist, right? But it's like they don't realize that that's how they sound. Or maybe they do realize it, but they have such a little regard for black children that they don't care about sexual predators having access to their black children. And that's very sad and heartbreaking. So, another situation that is just a reminder that black women and black girls only receive advocacy and support from pro-blacks when you can put a pro-black spin on the story is that whole situation that happened last year when you had a mother who was taking her 4 daughters on a Walmart run early on a Saturday morning. Someone shoots into the vehicle and kills a 7-year-old girl, a 7-year-old little black girl. And when everyone thought that the shooter was a white man, you had all of these pro-black people rallying behind this family, supporting them and saying, oh, this young girl needs justice. But then when we find out that the shooter was actually a black male, they dropped that story like it was a hot potato. I literally heard someone say, well, we don't know what's going on in that young man's life to make him do that. And I'm like, yo, that is crazy. I don't care what type of personal problems you have. That doesn't justify you shooting into a vehicle, hitting a 7-year-old girl and killing her. I don't care what you went through in your childhood, what you went through that day. That doesn't excuse the fact that you just shot and killed a 7-year-old girl. Sorry, not sorry, okay? But yet that was their response. So as divested black women, I just think we need to keep an eye out for that, because right now I think that this particular space on YouTube, not this channel, but this space of BWE and divestment, has really made it so that if people really want to attract a black woman audience, they really have to show some level of concern for black women and girls. But I'm noticing that in pro-black sectors, I'm telling you, if it's not a story about police brutality, or if it's not some situation where it's a person of another race that's attacked that woman or girl, they don't touch the story. And the problem is with that is that the majority of black women who are abused, whether it's physical abuse, sexual abuse, domestic violence, the majority of black women and girls who are abused at the hands of black men. So you cannot be an advocate for women and girls, for black women and black girls, if you're not talking about the situations that represent the majority of cases where we're abused. All right? I'll talk to y'all soon.